I am really active in the Telegram communities online related to the Redmi K20 Pro. I have my own Telegram community dedicated to Xiaomi products and finding best values. And one of the things that people were begging me to see in those Telegram groups was a review of whatever GCam that we have working right now on the Redmi K20 Pro. So here's your video. Hey, my name is Mitchell. If you're new to my channel, I make videos about the tech I use. Before we jump into talking about this, thank you to everyone that uses my affiliate links. Today in the groups, had a couple people asking me for specific affiliate links, and without support like that, guys, I really couldn't keep this channel going. As I mentioned before, you should definitely join my Telegram community, and we just started a Telegram community dedicated to Redmi K20 photography, and I'll have a link to both of those in the description down below. Also, I've been trying to update my website more, and it's something that is really overwhelming, and I'm gonna need to get help for the website, for the written content. So if you guys know anyone that wants to take part in this and creating content for the non-native English speakers, let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, enough of this talking, and let's just jump right into the video. Before we start talking about GCam on the Redmi K20 Pro, there's a couple of things that I need to say just right off the top. First, in my opinion, this video is kind of dumb and it's kind of silly because the software and the GCam port from the Google Pixel 3 is so new and it's not specifically tailored for the Redmi K20 Pro. I think we're gonna see a lot of advancements in regards to camera quality as these updates for GCam roll out. So I'll probably end up reviewing another GCam for the K20 Pro in the next 2 to 3 weeks as more people and developers get access to the device. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out on that video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. The other thing that I wanted to say kind of right off the bat about the Redmi K20 Pro's camera and photography samples, things along those lines, is that although the Redmi K20 Pro does have a triple camera setup, it is the same, if not a very similar setup to the setup that we have on the Xiaomi Mi 9 SE. So it's not identical cameras in regards to camera sensor quality, lens quality, and just the camera package in general, but it's pretty close to the Xiaomi Mi 9. If you guys want to see a comparison between the Redmi K20 Pro and the Xiaomi Mi 9, go ahead and click or tap this comparison video that I have right up here for you. The next and final thing that I wanted to get out of the way just before talking about and diving into the images on the computer was that I have been a photographer for 16 years. It's something I do semi-professionally here in Hanoi, and it's something that I've been getting paid to do for most of my life. The big thing that I want to explain to you when we are testing GCam versus the stock camera is that one of the reasons that we saw GCam being so groundbreaking and so fundamentally changing to the performance of these cameras is that GCam is using advanced image stacking. So if you have a bright area of the image and you have a dark area of the image, it would take a set of photos. Some of those photos in that set would be for the bright part of the image. Some of them would be for the darker part of the image, and then it would combine those to get you dynamic range that before would be inaccessible. And that truly is the thing that we see as being so special about the Google camera port, is the use of AI and software to match those images together, even with hand movement and hand shake, as well as its ability to process color from different light sources. So combining the images and then figuring out what the white balance should be in the image is the big advantage that we saw from Google. Since the original camera port, or since the original software for the Google Pixel 3 came out, we've seen companies like Xiaomi and Huawei and Samsung to a lesser extent beginning to play catch up, right? In their ability to stack images on top of each other intelligently to get us better dynamic range. And without spoiling too much about the Redmi K20 Pro, the difference between stock Xiaomi and Google has never been closer. So enough talking, let's hop over to the computer and compare some images. Okay, we're gonna keep this review pretty short and simple. Having some serious issues with the GCam port that I have right now for the ultra wide. Really the only thing that we can compare on the ultra wide camera would be the color and sample processing for them, so just keep that in mind. right now what we have is the regular camera, and overall, if I'm comparing these two images totally side by side, I've got a bluer sky with the Google camera port, but I think I have better and more accurate colors on the stock camera app. If we pixel peep and we look into this just for detail at 200%, I'm having what appears to be a pretty similar amount of detail. The colors and the detail on the stock camera do look a little bit mushy, like over processed. Let's see if we can get a ultra wide example. Here we'll give you guys just a telephoto sample of both of them. Telephoto on the GCam port, I'm not sure what's totally wrong, but there is like a green cast that we're getting to all this. Also, we're losing almost all the detail in this port that we have. The colors look really watercolor-ish. I have no idea what setting this is or what could potentially have caused this necessarily. But in regards to just color kind of processing, we can't really compare the two right now because of this shadow effect that we have where all the shadows are turning green. This becomes painfully clear that this port isn't ready when we check out the ultra wide samples from both of these. We don't even have full resolution on them. One thing though that is disappointing with the ultra wide and just the overall ultra wide processing on this, and keep in mind I cleaned the lens, and it's something that I'm really conscientious of, just not a lot of detail from the ultra wide camera on the Redmi K20 Pro. We see some severe like over smoothing in the highlights, and there's just a complete lack of sharpness when I pixel peep this. So that in and of itself is quite disappointing. When comparing the main GCam versus the main stock camera app that we have, we can see what the potential of this device might hold with GCam. We have a lot of texture that is retained with Google camera. Sharpness is not really an issue. I would say though that the stock camera is boosting shadows more, but even though it's boosting shadows, we're really not getting a lot of like over-processed or fake look from that over-boosting of shadows. We will give you guys a normal. Here is the normal lens for both of them in a dark, really kind of contrasty alleyway that we have. And again, we are seeing at 150% that Xiaomi is retaining more detail in the darks. This gate that we have here just looks significantly better. The blue looks better. And the GCam, it is more contrasty, but I don't like its look. Okay, for the things that you guys really want to see, which would be like night mode, I tried to compare stock night mode to Google night mode. Unfortunately, because these ports aren't finished yet, it's hard to do that. One thing that we can compare is the dynamic range that both of these cameras are able to get with night mode. I would say it's a fair comparison because that's basically just image stacking. And overall, I'm getting better dynamic range out of the stock camera at this time. If we look at the text over here where it says Redmi K20 Pro, the text is clearer and it is better on the stock camera. We can try to compare another sample for you guys. If we look at the box, I metered at the same place for both of these images. I metered on the part that says Redmi K20 Pro text on the back. And as we see here, the box for the Sobbit E12s, totally blown out with GCam, not totally blown out with the Xiaomi camera. So I think that we could see improvements, but I don't think that we are going to see overall the radical improvement in camera performance that we saw with the Poco F1. With the Poco F1, because it had the exact same sensor that the Google Pixel 3 had, we could see a big performance increase because that port was much more of like a direct like port meant for the cameras. But I really don't think that unless we have a lot of developer support for the Redmi K20 Pro or the Xiaomi Mi 9, I don't think that we're going to see like this colossal, exponential, gigantic, right, leap in camera quality that we did with the Pocophone F1. I think that with a lot of developer support, we could see a substantial improvement, but I don't think that we are going to get that kind of same drastic performance increase for another maybe month to 2 months down the road with developers working specifically for this IMX586 sensor that we have. As I said before, this GCam port isn't finished yet. Truthfully, I thought that we were going to see a bigger difference in camera quality and just overall image quality when we tested them in the studio, trying to see what the dynamic range was and seeing how much of an improvement we had. And I don't think that we've seen any GCam port fully optimized for the 586 on the Redmi K20 Pro. Because I'm disappointed by the dynamic range in studio. I thought that we were going to have much kind of more radically different image quality when comparing between the two. But like I said before, this is a pretty new port and it's only going to get better with time. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out my direct camera comparisons to the Mi 9 right here. If you're looking for a good pair of headphones for your Redmi K20 Pro, check out my comparison between the Redmi AirDots Pro and my other favorite headphones over in this playlist right here. If you want to make sure that you don't miss anything, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's been Mitchell coming to you guys from Hanoi. See you soon.